On February 2nd, the Loudoun Board of Supervisors unanimously approved a project design to widen Route 15 north of the town of Leesburg to Montresor Road. As a realtor, I try to stay informed about projects such as these that will impact my buyers and sellers when they go to buy or sell a house. Joining me today is my husband, Dave Goodrum, who served as the stakeholder from the Raspberry Falls community on a stakeholder committee that comprised many neighborhoods and businesses along this corridor of Route 15. He's going to share information that he has learned through hundreds of hours of community meetings and through reading hundreds of pages of traffic studies. He does it so you don't have to. Dave, what can you tell us?
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't aware, this has been an ongoing issue, if you will, for not just years, but for literally decades.
And we have a clip of Supervisor Saines saying the same thing during the meeting.
This has started, going back all the way as long as 1998, 2006, 2007, 2014, 2016. Then the previous board term, we voted a few times on this. I think in 16 it came up, then in 17, then again in looks like 18. So almost every single year we're in the last board term, we're taking votes on this item and sending it back to study, looking at this piece, looking at that piece. So I think we've gone long enough, and I'm ready to move forward. And I know at the end of the day, just like most things, there's always going to be some people are going to be happy. There's going to be some people who are not happy.
So yeah, it's been a long time. In 2018, after about 5 years of studies, the board finally approved and funded this project. If they had rejected this would have set the project back a year or more, or potentially even canceled the project altogether due to the way it was funded.
All right, so let's roll a 30% design, can we?
Yes, all right. Well, let's first start with the fact that they broke this into two separate projects now. The widening to White's Ferry Road is called Phase 1, and then the further widening from White's Ferry to Montresor Road is called Phase 2. So by breaking it into smaller chunks, they feel they can get the project moving faster. So the project involves widening Route 15 to 2 lanes in each direction, a standard median, which should prevent the head-on collisions that we've seen on this road, and also includes a standard 10-foot shoulder, which will allow vehicles to pull off the road in emergencies.
And it looks like it has a shared use path the entire length of the corridor for bikes and runners.
Yep, yeah, it definitely does. And this, what you're seeing here, this is the actual 30% design that was just approved. Now, the map is oriented so that north is to the right, so it fits on the screen better. But the first major change is that this flashing light that we're all used to, it becomes an actual traffic light now. So they did consider an overpass here, but ultimately it was ruled out due to the high potential price tag.
That's too bad.
Yeah, it's a bummer. So this light becomes, this intersection becomes a light now that will stop southbound traffic to allow vehicles from town to cross and merge onto Route 15 northbound, right? And they also studied putting in a massive roundabout here to replace the entire interchange instead of an overpass, but their computer simulation, it apparently failed due to the high volume of traffic. So unfortunately, we ended up with this traffic signal stopping southbound traffic instead. Also, you can see here that shared use path that we talked about. It'll go all the way to the high school main entrance. Now this path will go on the west side of the road. So kids could actually bike to school if they want to, or even all the way into town to go to Idly, like to work out or something.
Or we could go bike to the Flower and Garden Show or the 4th of July Festival and wouldn't have to be another car on the road, and we can reduce our carbon footprint.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on, up the map, one thing that's not noted in this copy of the design is that the entrance to Tutt Ln will now be right in and right out only. So that's new, it was just added. Vehicles coming from Tutt Ln will not be able to cross the road and travel northbound. They're gonna have to turn right and then essentially use this intersection like a huge U-turn, almost kind of like a roundabout, to go northbound. So this was a suggestion by Morgan Park, who I think was very concerned about, the horse trailers turning safely onto Route 15. And then we continue moving up the road and we come to Saddlebrook, where cars can ironically turn left onto Route 15.
And Saddlebrook is a community of about 20 homes.
Yeah. So we'll continue up the road here, and we'll come to the intersection at White's Ferry Road and Raspberry Drive. And this is going to remain a signalized intersection. It'll be 2 lanes through the intersection in both directions with signalized left turns. And keeping the light, by the way, was a very contentious decision. And a lot of people believe that this would be better served as a 4-lane roundabout.
Okay, so we have a clip from the February 2nd board meeting with Tutt Ln Supervisor Caleb Kershner talking about this specific light.
Just to address a couple of the things that did come up, the light versus the roundabout, I know there was some talk about it. I know in my office individual, I've gotten a lot of emails on this. We've probably gotten 80% in favor of voting for this as is, in favor of moving forward. If we were to change that now in midstream, that would delay this project at least a year, cost it an extra 10 to 15 million based upon my conversations with staff, and certainly be opposed by the majority of the people who use this intersection.
Yeah, so I pulled these from the studies they did in 2016 and 2017, which is what Supervisor Kershner was referring to. The county looked at 20 concepts and alternatives, and of the final 10, only 3 of them got a passing grade in 2040, according to their computer simulations. So these are all variations and combinations of lights or roundabouts, and all of them had widening to 4 lanes. And it was really interesting to see how a very small change in the design would get a very different outcome. But here's the successful light and roundabout alternatives side by side. You can see that they both actually performed very well. But here you see that surprisingly, the light was actually projected to perform slightly better, although the BB with that roundabout is still a very good score. And you can also see the estimated maximum cost for each design also. But really the point is that either of these would have been a very viable alternative. And then this over here, this is the current single lane design that we have now with these F ratings up and down the corridor. And what this shows is that the real factor alleviating the congestion is the fact that both of the other designs go from a single lane each way to 2 lanes each way. Whether it's a roundabout or a signalized light really didn't make a huge difference. And by the way, all this information is available to the public on the Loudoun government website. These are directly from their documents. So you just have to read through, a couple hundred pages of documents that have now accumulated over the past years to find it all. But anyway, I'm glad that we're moving forward and we're not going back to the drawing board on this one.
All right, well, thank you for gathering all this information. I don't know what you're gonna do in your free time now, because I know this took hundreds of hours. Right now, I just wanted to show everyone a clip. It's an audio clip of Matt Letourneau from the February 2nd meeting. I think that he just concisely summarizes what I think about this project in terms of getting it done in phases.
I want to address just one argument that seems to get made on all these things is you shouldn't widen a section or you shouldn't improve a section unless you can do the whole thing. And unfortunately, if we did that, we would never do anything. And the entire county would be a 1-lane road, because from the standpoint of funding and the process and going through all the painstaking pieces of this and how long it takes to actually get done, you just have to do things incrementally. And I don't think any of us would want to do that. I think we would want to just wave a magic wand and do all of our projects as fast as we could and get the whole thing done quickly. But unfortunately, it doesn't usually work that way. And incremental progress does improve safety. It does provide relief in some areas. And then, there's still going to be potentially bottle jams down the road that we're still going to have to address as part of this. But I don't want that to be the reason why we don't ever do anything.
So again, I love Matt's take on this. Big projects take a long time and a lot of effort to complete. We've just discussed phase 1. There's a phase 2, but we simply have run out of time. So hopefully we can do another video soon about that. And I'm gonna have to put you to work for a few more hours and read a few more hundreds of pages of documents for that, but not really, right?
Pretty much already read it all.
Yeah. So if you live in Raspberry Falls, you should have Dave's contact information. You can ask him questions. If you don't live in this community or you're thinking about buying or selling and you live along the corridor, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to be the source of the source. And I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. And thank you for helping.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Stop. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, well, yeah, that's not a chorus at all, is it? All opposed? That motion would pass unanimously.